Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hope all is well with you on this Saturday. All right. Today, I'm going to be talking about a message that we all know because we've been taught it from wee little age, ever since we first came into the earth. However, this is a reminder not only for myself, but for all of us in earshot. And I think this is very relevant to the time we're living in because it's becoming increasingly hard to kind of do this, even though you may not think it is. But we're going to read from John, the Gospel of John, chapter 15. And I'm just going to read the first 11 verses on for you, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. It reads as such: I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye except ye abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abides in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be given unto you. Herein is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciples. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue in my love. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments, and I abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. So these are the words of Messiah that he was speaking unto the people. And to me, this is a simple message of obedience, right? The imagery we get here is of a vine that has many branches on it. And some of these branches bear fruit and others do not. And the branches that do not bear fruit, he says they're good for nothing. So the husbandman or the keeper of the garden comes and breaks those branches off because all it's good for is firewood. Whereas the branches that bring forth fruit, he plucks the fruit, which stimulates more fruit growth. Right? And he relates that directly with the keeping of his commandments, or in the simplest term, obedience. He simplified the keeping of his commandments in two phrases, which is to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbors as ourselves. If we do those two things, we fulfill the whole of the law in love. Right? So we have to abide in that. But one can ask, how does that look interpersonally? Well, that's something for you to figure out through your time in prayer and study with the Most High and your individual relationship, right? But the key word is, again, obedience. Because if we obey, then we abide in his love. You know, that's a question I asked the Father over this week as I was pondering on what to speak about. And this statement about abide in me and I will abide in you. I was like, well, how do we do that? And so I was directed back to this chapter. And my answer was found in verse 10. Simple as that. Keep my commandments and you will abide in my love. Basically, be obedient. Again, a message as old as time that we've had from when we were little, when we first came out the womb. You know, 2, 3 years old, our mothers would say, be obedient, little one. And we had to follow suit. And out of obedience flows what? Life, good tidings. And even at the end, he says joy. Because all things are made joyful, all things are made true. All right? So I want to encourage one another that we remain obedient, help each other to remain obedient. Again, he says, my Father's love is for all of those who abide in me in obedience. Which means that he will do things for you, because again, he's our Father. If you obey, he may open a door that has been closed. If you obey, he may heal you when you are sick. You know what I'm saying? And it's protection. Because again, what father doesn't protect his children, even when they do fall short a little bit? But it's the love of the Father that he keeps them in his grasp, or as described elsewhere, in his bosom, right? Excuse me. Let's see. The other part of this message that I think is less talked about, but I also want to remind everyone, is the consequence for disobedience.
Wow.
We touched on it a little bit in the beginning when I said the branches that bear no fruit are broken off and used as firewood. Well, that is an allusion, an allegory to the ever-present judgment that's come on the wicked in this world, which is the lake of fire. There's many parables and many times where Messiah was speaking with the people that he said they will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I want us to take a moment and consider the severity of that statement.
Yeah.
Again, this is tied with disobedience, which is tied with not bearing fruit, which is tied with being cut off. If we remain obedient, we will continue to have that life source from the Messiah. Again, he's the door that leads us to the Father. If we abide in him, he will give us life, the spirit of life, the spirit of truth.
Yep.
And out of that flow the fruit of the spirit, love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And we shall ever be with him if we abide in his love. But if we do not, we will be lost. And the Father doesn't want us to be lost. So again, here I am reminding you to abide in Messiah through obedience, that we may live forevermore. And that is what I have for you all this morning. All right.
Amen.
Yeah.